Hey guys, it's Warsteiner and welcome to Fishing Planet. This video is going to be basically my overview of this game, what my thoughts and opinions are on it so far, why I love this game so much, and kind of my reasoning as to why I love it so much. A lot of you may have seen a lot of your friends online, some of them playing this, wondering why are they playing this game, why are they playing this game so much. Well, I'm going to try to answer some of those fairly quickly. First off, two things up front. One, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know much about this game. I know it's been on the PC for about 2 years, something like that. Maybe a long beta period. I'm not sure. But everything that I've learned about this game has been literally in the past week or two. So let's get that out there right now. And number two is, I don't really know that much about fishing either. I'm going to be honest with you. My knowledge of fishing basically comes from my childhood when I would fish the rivers of Missouri with my father, dropping trout lines on the side of the banks, dropping a bobber in the middle of the river, maybe doing some crappie fishing. That's about it. That's all I know, which is absolutely shocking because 85% of the stuff in this game I know absolutely nothing about. Nothing. If you were to set a crankbait in front of me right now and force me to use it, I'm not 100% certain that I could go out there and do it. I'm just going to say, most of the stuff in here, I don't know what it is. I don't know how to use it in real life. And some of it I've never even heard of. So those two things keep in mind because I do plan on making videos in the future. So there is going to be a learning process for me, and I'm sure for you too, but more so for me because I don't know either one about, I don't know about this game. I really don't know that much about fishing in real life, so put those two together and you've got somebody that's almost completely clueless. So I'm sure I'm going to be using some things for the wrong purpose that it was initially intended for. And that's on me. I'm sure I'm going to do stuff like that. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, what is Fishing Planet? Let's make no mistake about it. I've heard some people say it is. I've heard some people say it isn't. Let's make no mistake about it. It's an MMO. Because every aspect that's in every other MMO that I've ever played, World of Warcraft, Rift, Terra Online, it's got the same aspects as any of those. You've got your grinding. You're grinding for experience. You're grinding for money, currency, silver, whatever they call it. I don't know. You're grinding for that. You're grinding for gear. You're grinding. That's the same aspect all across the board on just about every MMO you've got. This game is no exception. Fishing Planet is the same. You're grinding for gear. You're grinding for silver, you're grinding for XP, you're grinding to unlock certain things in certain areas also, as you'll find out in just a second. It's unlike any other fishing game I've ever played in the past, simply by the massive amount of options and equipment that you can, and combinations that you come across in the game. A little bit of background about myself is for the past 5 years, I have been suckered in and I've been playing a game called World of Tanks. I've played it on all three formats, the PC, PlayStation, and my main on the Xbox. And for 5 years, nothing has ever pulled me away from World of Tanks until now. So that in itself is a pretty big feat, in my opinion. And I felt like I had to explain myself as to why this one all of a sudden is taking up all my time. Let's just jump straight in. I'm sure you're tired of hearing me rambling already, but the depth of this game. This is some of the stuff that sold me on this game. Now, start off, you've got all your little areas. You got your 12 areas, and let's just go to the starting area real quick. Now, each little area has, I don't know, I think the developers said, I think I read in the forums, there's 80 different fish, something like that. I can't remember the exact number, but there's a lot. And each little area has, I don't know, anywhere from 8 to 10, 12 different species. Now, some do overlap. Bluegill, channel cat, crappie. You know, those are all over the place in some aspect. But for the most part, you've got a good selection of different fish everywhere you go. Let's just look at the starter area right off the bat. You know, you've got all these little guys, your bluegill, your channel cats, uh, your smallmouth buffalo, my favorite, the spotted bass. Then we will go to, say, Alaska. Take a look at that. Of course, up here you've got, I don't even know what the Alaskan blackfish is. You've got trout, you've got salmon. You know, obviously it's going to be completely different from what it was in Texas. Then, of course, you know, we go down to California, and one that I can't wait to get a hold of is the white sturgeon. And then, let's just take a peek at the Everglades down here in Florida. You know, like this. I had no idea these were actually down in Florida. I'd seen them in aquariums all the time. I didn't know they were really out in the wild. I had no idea. They're pretty neat looking fish. Florida gar. I can't wait to get a hold of some of these either. But these are just some of the fish. Supposedly there's, you know, 60, 70, 80 different fish species. Now, on top of the fish species, kind of like in World of Warcraft, as you'll see right here, whoops. Well, oh, there goes that. Let's just focus on the butterfly peacock. Each fish, even though it's an individual species, they have 3 different types, kind of like World of Warcraft's gear you can get. You have the common, you have a trophy, which is kind of a rarer species, and you have a unique species, which is the ultra super rare. And those are the ones that everybody's trying to get. Those give you the most XP, the most silver, dollars, currency, credit, whatever they call them. I don't know. Anyway, the unique is what everybody's after, and they are super rare. And the neat thing is, there's an in-game chat menu, and it pops up every time somebody catches something. And it's so funny to see somebody catch a unique fish, and then all of a sudden, out of the woodwork, you've got 2 or 3 other people that just magically, you know, find their way over to him and go, "Hey, what are you using? What kind of bait are you using? How far down you dropping that?" It's pretty neat. Yeah, yes, you are not playing by yourself. You are playing with other people. You can see other people. You can interact with other people. It is pretty neat in that aspect also. You don't feel like you're out there soloing it the whole time. Then, of course, well, let's page up because I completely skipped the weather. This is one of the more detailed, in-depth things that I'm talking about that I really love about these kind of games. Weather. It affects everything. You've got to worry about what time of day it is. You've got to worry about whether it's sunny, whether it's overcast, how hot it is, what time of the day it's going to be the hottest. All that factors into how the fish are going to be biting for the day. And I love that kind of stuff. Let's fumble over to the shop here and take a look at the reels. I mean, you've got, this is where it just gets crazy. Because, you know, half of the stuff I didn't even know existed. You've got spinning rods. 3 pages of spinning rods. Telescope rods. Match rods. Casting. Oops, I was just in there. Telescope rods. You know, only a page of those. Then, of course, you've got the reels. Your spinning reel. 5 pages of spinning reels. Casting reels. Another 3 pages of those. I mean, I don't know what half of these stats are. I really don't know which reel is the best for what rod. I haven't figured any of that out yet. This is just showing you how many combinations of craziness there are. Then, of course, you got your keep nets and stringers, which is what you're going to be keeping your fish in, so you can sell them at the end of your trip to make money. And as you can see, as you level up, you unlock a better and better and better one. And, you know, each one better holds more fish, which comes in very handy because once you start catching, you know, 40, 50, 60 pound fish, yeah, you're not going to be able to hold as many as you did in your bag at level 3. Then you get, you know, hooks, bobbers. Look at the hooks. I mean, who'd have thunk there's this many options of hooks? It's insane. and bobbers. I mean, who'd have thunk it? I don't know. Then, of course, this is where it gets crazy. The lures. I don't even know what half of the stuff is. You have got, jig heads, bass jigs, crankbaits, spoons, barbless spoons, spinners, spinner baits. I don't know what half of that stuff is. Probably more than half of it. Now, here's one of the things that I don't like. The menu. There are a couple issues with this menu. It just does not feel smooth. It feels clunky. I know the guys on the PC flip through this stuff because they have a keyboard and a mouse, but on the PlayStation it just doesn't feel like it's translating very well. I find myself going forward, going backward when I don't want to, hitting a bumper button when I should be hitting a trigger button. It's a little clunky, but that's a minor nitpick. But anyway, I mean, well, there we go again. I couldn't, okay. But, if you sat down on a table and handed me something like this, I wouldn't know what to do with it. I seriously doubt I would have a clue as to use that, how to use that, and be successful with it. I don't know that I could. Be completely honest with you. And then, of course, you got baits. I mean, you've got common bait. You've got insects, worms. I personally can't wait to get leeches. Supposedly they're really good on catfish. And you got your fresh baits, which I was excited about because I just hit level 27, just unlocked frogs, and I heard that they are great on catfish. Haven't tried it yet. I'm going to give it a shot soon. But anyway, it's little things like that. Leveling through and going, oh man, I can't wait to get the frogs. I want to try that. And that's part of the thing that makes me love games like this. You're always waiting for that next thing to unlock to try that. And of course you got licenses because you can get fined for fishing in a state without a license. Then we have this little ditty, which is usually a sore point for some people. Premium shop. Being that it's a free-to-play game, they have to make their money from somewhere. It's only common sense, and I completely understand it. But you know what is kind of odd? It's a little bit of a side note here. Is I think from the credits that I'm reading, I'm not really sure about this company, but they seem to be Eastern European, which is kind of the same as, like, say, World of Tanks. I know that they're Russian-based. Now, it's kind of odd that both of these companies have such a firm grasp and an amazing knowledge of how to make free-to-play games and not make their customers feel like they're being crushed by their by their DLC or their microtransactions or their bundles. I mean, so many games. I mean, it's so funny because other parts of the world are making games and they're just horrible. They just, like I said, they feel like they're crushing you. I don't like free-to-play games when I can literally feel like I'm being forced to pay to progress any further. I can literally feel their hands in my back pocket trying to get to my credit card. Saying, hey, if you want to get another level, you might as well get your credit card out. I hate games like that, and so many games developers don't get it. These guys do. World of Tanks, I personally think, did. They get a little over the top lately, but that's a whole nother story. But I love their model. Nothing in this so far feels like it's pay to win, or that you can have an advantage over somebody else, because let's face it, whether you've got premium time or whether you don't have premium time, you're going to be grinding in this game. It's an MMO. There's nothing that's going to stop you from grinding. Nothing's going to magically put you at level 40, which is, by the way, the cap. But once you hit level 40, I haven't seen anything that's going to give a guy that's, just got money to spend an advantage over somebody that is living on a budget. I don't see anything that's going to give that guy, once he's 40, an advantage over the other guy. I haven't seen anything yet. Maybe I'm wrong, but right off the bat, I don't see that. And I love that stuff because, like I said, so many business models are so terrible when it comes to free-to-play games. Their microtransactions and their bundles, it's just mind-blowing. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. I don't want to sound like Jim Sterling here. But anyway, moving on. Getting out of the shop. See if I can navigate this. You've got events. Now, I have not taken part in any of these events yet. We have, competitions. You get tournaments, and apparently they go on every day, every other day. I don't know. I haven't taken part in any of these. I've been too busy trying to level. But there seems to be this to do once you hit 40, or you can do it now. I think you can do it at any lower level. But I have not ventured into this. That'll be something to learn in the future. And there's the leaderboards. We also have these. I love leaderboards. I used to play Diablo 3 quite a bit too, and I used to, love taking a look at what my friends, the greater risks that they've cleared. I love leaderboards, and it keeps track of your fish. Obviously, it keeps track of globally the top. Everybody in the top, which clearly they have not slept since it came out on the PlayStation day one. But anyway, so there's that, and I just wanted to show you guys, flip through here a little bit, and give you guys a heads up of what this game is about, and a little bit of a taste of what you can get in this game. Now, to wrap things up, the whole reason I made this video is because I've been thumbing through some of the tutorials and stuff like that, but they seem to all be for the PlayStation, or I'm sorry, they all seem to be for the PC. I hardly see any for the PlayStation. One or two here and there maybe, but I think that somebody needs to start, or I felt that somebody needed to start putting some stuff out, some information, because I personally know, just from experience, that the developers don't make the games the same. I know that, like on the World of Tanks, they are many patches behind on console. It's the same way with Diablo 3. I think they're about 3 or 4 months behind on console from PC. And that being said, just in the sheer history of things, I don't see this game being any different. I think the PC has things even now that we don't have yet on the console. I'm not sure that we'll ever catch up to the PC, which is again why I thought that something needed to be given to the public about the PlayStation's own version, because obviously there's things on the PC that we don't have access to yet. So I threw that out there, and wanted to see if we could get this community growing, if we get some legs on this game, because personally I see myself playing this game a lot, and I would like to see this game have a really long shelf life. I would love to see that, because as the name implies, Fishing Planet, I would love to see this game extend. I would love to be able to fish somewhere in Mexico, or the Amazon maybe, or the Nile. I don't even know what kind of fish are in the Nile, but it just sounds cool. But hopefully this game will be around long enough. Hopefully, like I said, it's got some legs and it can stay afloat for quite a while. And hopefully the player base grows. I know it's fairly decent already on the PlayStation. I know it's got a pretty decent following on the PC also. So, it's still fairly new, but hopefully word of mouth will spread. Hopefully we can continue as a community and get better, and that's kind of what I would like to be here for, is I plan on showing in the future maybe, my tips, my tricks, what I wish I knew when I was level 2 that I know now, a lot of the mistakes I made, some of the things I stumbled across, so maybe some little hidey holes here and there, which, by the way, I've already found a couple. Maybe we'll put that in some videos in the future. And just let's stick around. Let's have some fun with this game. And that's what I'm going to try to be here for. So we will see what happens here. So far, this game is highly addictive to me. I have had So much fun playing this game. And I cannot thank the developers of this game enough for just a game that to me has just come up out of the blue. I don't know anything about this game. I have never heard anything about this game. Thank you guys for making this, because so far this game is an absolute blast. Keep up the good work, and I hope to see everybody in the future. And like everyone else says, please like, please subscribe if you want to, because I'd like to keep this channel going, and I plan fully on making more videos in the future. So, with that said, get to fishing.